Good morning, and welcome to another Writer's Morning Commute. Today I'm going to talk about the third big stool leg of writing. First one, which I suggest that I try to start with, is character. The second one, as I spoke about earlier this week, is the setting that the world, the story takes place in. And the third one is the plot. This is another area, I guess, like most of writing, apparently, where there was a lot more to it than I realized. And I've spoken before about how I realized and learned that a story isn't just a series of events that happen. In order for it to really feel cohesive, it needs to be a series of cause and effect events, where one leads into another, leads to another. But there's even more than that, the plot. As I've said before, it seems like I'm always learning new things about writing. And ever since I started, I just, I'll learn some stuff, and I'll feel like I'm a much better writer, and I'll write some stuff that I like, and then I find a bunch more stuff to learn, and I look back at my old stuff, I'm like, oh, well, that's crap now. It's just this constant, grow, my growth plateaus, but I learn some stuff, my growth plateaus, and I write some stuff, and then my writing starts to feel off somehow, so I learn some more stuff, and I grow, and I that plateaus, and I write some more stuff. It's just this constant cycle of growing. I think about plot in a very cyclical way. A series of books should have an overarching plot, in my opinion. It should tell one full cohesive story from start to finish. And I find a lot of TV shows that go on for too long feel like they're going on for too long because they wrap up their overarching plot, the series plot, too early, but then they keep manufacturing other things, and soon it just feels like, they're making up drama for the sake of it. I feel like that's kind of what happened with Scrubs once JD left. Supernatural, I think, had that issue, at least where I stopped watching after the first apocalypse. I think that was season 6. It felt like a very nice spot to end. Everything was wrapped up, and then they just introduced this random other thing. But in addition to an overall series having a plot, each individual book should also have its own plot. It should also feel like its own complete story. It can have, threads that continue into other books or come in from other books, but it should still have its own story that it tells completely. And that should happen for every, main point of view throughout that book. In addition to every book having its own plot, I personally also break it down into arcs within the book, depending on how long the book is. I break it down into chapters having their own overall plot. I break it down into scenes having their own overall plot. And even beyond that, each individual beat can have its own form of a complete plot. It should feel like a complete story to a certain degree. The method I use for coming up with my plots is rooted in the hero's journey. It's rooted in 3-act structure, but it's a little bit different. It's pretty similar, but I look at it a little bit differently. I call it the 9 points and 8/8ths method, and it works really well for me. It provides me with a lot of questions I can ask, and really looks at the plot as more of a theme and how it's affecting the characters and how that's tying into the setting. So it's really taking those first two stool legs and building on top of them, rather than just having a random character in a disconnected setting doing things that anybody could be doing anywhere. I try to really tie in who this person is, where they're at, and what they're doing all together. The other thing that I've learned just recently that I'm still working on including is that in this cycle of cycles that I have for each book, so each of my quarters of the overall plot I treat as its own arc. So each individual quarter has its own plot line in addition to the overarching plot line. The overall plot line needs to have twists and turns. It needs to have plot twists, which is not something that I've consciously put in before, or that I thought to add in if they didn't come up naturally. But having those mysteries and having those surprises, I think, really helps motivate the reader to keep reading. And so I've been trying to put them in at the end of every quarter, as kind of the climax to the individual arcs throughout. So hopefully that gives you some stuff to think about. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you have a great day.